All righty. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I am sorry for being late. We had some bad weather here, and I did not want to get on the live today with the bad weather going on because I am terrified of bad weather. I am terrified of all things storm related. So I do not play about going messing with the computer or anything when I am when it's storming. So welcome to Tuesday Talks with Lady O. For those of you all who are going to catch it live, hello. For those of you all who are going to catch the replay, hello as well. I am coming in kind of like I said, I'm coming in way later than usual because of the storm. But I wanted to make sure I achieve one of my goals this week, and it is to go live every Tuesday. So that's one of my goals, and that's what I intend to do. So, speaking of goals, I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure I pull up my notes. This week's topic is the importance of setting goals, and I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you need to set goals. And for this one, for me, is a big one because for those of us who do suffer from mental health issues, we sometimes lose our direction. We don't know what our purpose is in life because sometimes anxiety lies to us, so we don't really know which way we should be going. We don't think our businesses are doing well. We don't think we're great as parents. It goes on and on and on. And when we don't have any goals that we set for ourselves, and especially mental health goals, it could put us in a funk. It could totally put us in a funk. And sometimes that's why the suicidal thoughts arise because we're saying to ourselves, what do we have to live for? What is our purpose? We don't have anything. So this is why it's important to set goals. And I stress this a lot in my group. And and sometimes I get some feedback from it, but I don't. But people don't really realize how important it is to set the goals because it does give you the sense of accomplishment. It gives you that sense of I have something to look forward to doing. And so this is why I think it's so important. But I think, again, for those of us who suffer from mental health issues, when we don't achieve the goals that we set for ourselves, and it can be due to to us. There are days when I have, there are weeks when I am like running like a soldier. Then there are other weeks when I am literally a turtle. So when we set those goals and we don't actually achieve those goals, we feel disappointed and we think we're letting ourselves down when really we're suffering from something other people may not be suffering from. So we shouldn't be beating ourselves up about that. But setting the goals are important because also it helps you get to where you need to be in life. It helps you with your direction of where your life is going to be going. So if you're setting business goals, then you should be setting goals every single week. You should be setting your financial goals. You should be setting, how many clients you want to get this week. You should be setting goals of, let me redo my website, or how many clicks do I want, for my website? How many items do I want to sell? You should be setting goals every single day if you are in business. Period. You should be setting goals. So usually when I ask that question and I don't get any feedback, and most of the women I know are in business, and I'm like, okay, well, are y'all not setting business goals? The importance of setting goals again gives you purpose as well. You will eventually find your purpose in life by the goals that you set. So if you're setting goals like, well, I'm going to make sure that I do get my finances in order. When you're setting goals, I do want to go back to school. You're going to find your purpose in life by the way you set your goals. Okay, I learned that the hard way because I did remember not having any goals that I wanted to accomplish. I kind of just was floating through life, and once I realized that I was going in the wrong direction, I needed to find a way to come back away from that and turn myself back around and get on the right track. So setting some goals helped me do that. And I also set mental health goals. For those of you all who do suffer, y'all know I have low tolerance for people that come to me and just say that they're depressed, but they don't go to the doctor. I have low tolerance for people who will talk about, um, I will, give me the excuses of why they can't get their mental health under control. But if you set the goals that you want to about your mental health, I knew that it was time for me to set goals for my mental health. I knew that I needed to be seen. I knew that there was something that needed to be done. I personally, again, y'all know that I actually do take medications for my mental health. I also do therapy. For you can set any mental health goal you want. If it's holistic, if that's something that you want to try, set the goal and go out and research that, and you do it that way. If you are setting mental health goals where you are going to go ahead and do a plan, because when you are setting mental health plan goals, you do it with your therapist, or when you get under doctor's care, they actually give you a plan. They actually give you a plan to set so that you can actually achieve those mental health goals. So if setting goals, one of the ways you can set goals is your mental health goals. I did that. I have achieved that. I am very proud of myself for that because I haven't I was letting my mental health get out of control. So you can set mental health goals. You can also set parenting goals. It's the beginning of the new school year. I remember saying, when I was raising my kid, that I was going to do this and this and that this particular school year. Of course, now it doesn't always end up like that. But I was one of those parents who was kind of like tried to be the perfect parent. So if I said something, if I set the goals like, well, I'm going to attend every single game this year, or I'm going to attend every single teacher parent conference, or I am going to make sure that I show up for my son this year in school. Those were the goals that I set at the beginning of the year. And those goals I actually did end up doing. I mean, I actually accomplished some of my parenting goals because he was the only child. I used to work for myself, so it was really easy for me to do that. So I do understand if you have one or more kids, or you're trying to work and maybe you're a single mother. Well, I was a single mother as well, but I was able to accomplish some of those parenting goals. So you do now see why it's important to set goals, because it gives you that sense of accomplishment. It gives you that sense of something to look forward to. It also gives your life direction. It gives you the chance to figure out what's going to be my purpose, where am I headed in life, what am I going to do. I also set some goals for myself when I decided that I wanted to go back to school to get my degrees. Now, although I'm not using any of the degrees now, but it kind of started to point me into the direction that I wanted to go. And I did want to teach. That's my thing, like me sitting right here in front of you all right now, teaching you all about goals. That has always been my dream, to teach. I thought it meant teaching little children. That was not it. Okay, I promise you, I don't want to teach little children. I was good at it when I was there. They're calling me back now to be a substitute for the schools because they have a shortage. I don't want to do anything with children. I am just not that teacher. I'm just not. But I do get the enjoyment of teaching you all, and thus I'm still using the degree some kind of way. And I have a leadership degree, so I definitely use that one all the time. So, I set those goals for myself because at that time I did not know where my life was going. I needed to find direction. I needed to find what my purpose was about. And when I start setting those goals for myself, That's how I was able to end up getting both of my degrees and getting on the path to doing the teaching, the coaching, the mentoring. So it gives, trust me, it works. So I'm going to give you 7 reasons why you should be setting your goals. And most of the time, some of these, are you probably already know, because I did put this in a post a couple of days ago. But some of the ones you probably I've already just talked about. But this was one of the ones that I was very. This is one of the ones that I like the most about the 7 reasons why, and I'm just going to make that number 1, to motivate you. You definitely need to set goals, because goals do motivate you. Now, I just got on and said I was sorry for being late, because we had a storm that was coming through, and I have no intentions of getting on anybody's computer when the storm is coming through. But one of my goals for the week, when I write my goals down, is to make sure that I go live in my Facebook group, or live on Instagram and on YouTube. That's a goal that I set for myself. I remember I was going live like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and it was just getting so overwhelming because I was so busy. I wasn't able to, keep up with that. So I set the goal that for once a week, and I named it, Tuesday Talks with Lady O. I named it. This is what I wanted it to be. So this was the goal that I set. And I also said, how can I achieve this goal? And those were the steps that I wrote down. And guess what? I am accomplishing this goal for the week. This is one of the goals that I can scratch off of my list, because I actually got on here. Now, I am late because of the weather, but I actually did it. But it motivates me, because throughout the day, when I'm having a bad day, I also know that I have to show up for the women in my group, and I have to show up for the people that are looking forward to seeing me live, who also want to hear what I have to say. So it gives me a sense of motivation. I like motivating people. I like inspiring people. So to me, setting goals to motivate is one of my favorite ones, okay? Because it gives you something to look forward to, and I enjoy that. So number 2, it gives you direction in life. Like I told you before, I didn't know where I was headed. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had the business, but I knew that I was created for so much more, and I just didn't know. And again, for those of us who suffer, my mental health was starting to deteriorate, and it was telling me things like, well, you're never going to accomplish things, going back to the things that people said to me. So I kind of was starting to believe that. But once I start setting goals for the things that I wanted to do, then I got on the right track. So it gives you the direction of where you want your life to go. So if you don't think you have a purpose in this life, if you don't know what you want to do in this life, set some goals. And the misconception about goals that people get is, when you're setting these big goals, you don't have to set these huge goals. I'm going to be a millionaire by next week, or I'm going to get 10,000 followers, or I am going to buy this car, or I'm going to be financially free. I'm going to buy my house next month. You don't have to set those type of goals. Okay. You do not have to set these elaborate big goals. You just don't have to do that. I just told you that one of my goals for this week, was to actually go live once a week. So look how it was just small. It might not mean a lot to some people, but it means a lot to me. And so get the misconception out of your head that you have to set these elaborate goals, because you don't. If I think once someone commented in my group earlier this week about the goals that she said, and she said it was getting the laundry done. Okay. She's in my group because she's suffering some type of mental health issue. So getting laundry done is a freaking goal. That is a freaking win. If you do your laundry, you get it folded, you get it washed, and get it put up. Okay. I don't have that problem because I'm very OCD. So when I wash my clothes, I am literally standing by. As soon as I hear the buzzer go off, I fold my clothes, I put my clothes away, and I'm done. I wash clothes once a week. I don't have children too, so that gives me another advantage. I don't have children at home, but I can get the laundry done once a week. It doesn't really bother me to have the big pile because I'll still get it done. But she said that was a goal. She knew that she was going to vacation this week. She wanted to set the goal of getting the laundry done. It was something simple as that. Okay, that's an sense of accomplishment to her because she's probably someone that doesn't do the laundry all the time. I'm pretty sure some of you all are out there right now who, have tons of kids and you have it's tons of laundry, and it's hard to get that done, especially if you're suffering from depression and anxiety and working and trying to, right now with school going back, and you probably had to transition back from homeschooling to going back into the building, and it's all types of anxiety about that. So setting the goal of laundry is a perfectly acceptable goal, period. It's just period, and it's up to you. People don't get to tell you how to set goals. We are not here to judge you how you set your goals. Do what works for you. Number two, to make sure you are choosing the direction of your life, not others, and not your fate. The others choose your fate. Meaning, when you don't set goals, people kind of tell you what they want you to do in life. So you're walking around doing things that other people are living. So most people live through you. I remember well, my son did used to play football and basketball and things like that. He was not a very good football player, but he was an awesome basketball player. But I would hear the men on the teams of the parents of the football players who would be furious with their children, who would, argue with their children when they made a bad play. And I remember one time my son made a bad play in a football game. And I didn't correct him or I didn't get upset with him, but somebody behind me was so upset, with my child. I'm like, dude, first off, calm yourself down. That's my kid. But what I had to explain to him is, and I was very nasty about it, you're living through your kid. You're trying to force your life onto your kid because you probably once was a good football player and something didn't work out for you. So now you're trying to project that life to your child. So you need to set goals to live your own life. Period. You don't want anybody else. That parent should not be projecting his football player days onto his kid. I'm sorry. You just shouldn't be doing that. I knew my son was not a good football player. I don't care if he messed up. I didn't care if he messed up. I did say, look, coach, don't put him in the game anymore. Take him out the game. And people will be so shocked that I will, be so hard on my kid. But I'm like, the dude don't play good. Now when he was on the basketball court, he was a beast. That was a different story. I was rooting for him. But guess what? He did not have the goal to play ball the rest of his life. I didn't project that I need you to play basketball because mommy wants you to be a star. Stuff. I didn't do that. He set the goals. He told me he wanted to go in the military. That's what he did. He told me he did not want to go to college. That's what he didn't do. I did not set his goals, but I remember having people's goals for me. That I should be working, that I should get a job in a plant someplace. This is back in the days when plants existed. So that I can get the 401k, so that I can have all of these things that my family had. And I didn't have that goal for myself. I always had a dream of being a boss, even back then and back in the days before people were even thinking about, now everybody can be an entrepreneur. Back then, nobody was thinking about that. But I set the goals for myself. So you need to set goals for what you want to do with your life so that nobody else can tell you what to do, so that you don't have to live your life, trying to live the life of others. Okay. So that's a really good reason why you should be setting your goals. I think I'm on number 4, to make sure you get what you want out of life. You're not going to get what you want out of life if you're just flying through life. I promise you're not. I was that person. You're not going to do that. If you don't set goals for your life, if you don't set financial goals, then you're never going to be able to buy that house, that car, or get out of debt if you're not setting a goal. So if you're saying to yourself, I'm always broke, Well, then what goals have you set for yourself? Even when you go to the bank, they are going to sit down and give you a financial plan. What is your goal? What are you trying to accomplish with your finances? So if you don't have any finances, then you need to be setting a goal on how you're going to make us, how you're going to make the money. Okay, so you set financial goals. All right, you need goals so that you can get what you want out of life. And if it is a house, if it is a car, if it is growing your business, you need to set the goals on how you're going to do that. If you're just running the business just to be running the business and you don't have any daily goals, then I don't get why you're running the business. That's the same thing with life goals. How are you just walking around life and not setting goals for your life? If you are like me, when I was living on Section 8, I had a goal that I did not want to live on Section 8 anymore. So one of my goals was to actually get a place to stay without having the government assist me. That was a goal of mine. So if you all are in government assistance now, have a goal and a plan that this is what I want for my life. This is how I want it done. And then go out and get that done. Because only you can do this. Nobody else can do this for you. Number 5, I think we're on 5. It might be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yep, number 5. To save time. This is a weird one to me, but I kind of understood what it meant. I wasted so much time in my life that if I had to set goals years ago, I would be in a much better spot than I am right now. Okay. And to other people, I may be further along, but to me, these are my goals, and my dreams. But I wasted so much time not putting plans in place, not putting a goal in place. So if you set goals now, this may be for the younger viewers, if you're listening, or to parents to go back and tell your children, set goals now. It saves so much time in the future. Okay, it saves so much time. If you set the goals now in your 20s, you will save all the wasted time that some of us who are now saying to ourselves, okay, and believe me, trust me, it is not too late to start your life, living your life, or setting your goals. That's not what I'm saying. But to save the time, I wish my parents had told me what I needed to do. Nobody told me that. So if I had known that I needed to keep my credit score at a certain height number, if I had known that getting my degrees at earlier, or everything that I learned now on my own as an adult, I wish somebody had told me when I was in my 20s, because it would have saved so much time when I got into my late 40s, and I wouldn't have to be starting all over again or just trying to find my way. So it does save so much time when you start setting goals, especially earlier. Well, for those of us, like myself, who, are starting, I started setting goals maybe 5 years ago, and especially since we're getting a lot older, we need to be setting those goals, because we need to start thinking about retirement, where you're going to stay at, assisted living, things like that. Things that I had to do for my parent who did not set goals. Okay. So I saw the mess it creates when you don't set goals, because I had to scramble and be the one to find all of these things and get these things in place for my father, because he didn't set any goals. He didn't have anything planned out. Number 6, it reduces stress. I promise you, it does. Okay. I'm a walking, talking, stressed out woman. Okay. But when you set goals, you give yourself a chance to knock off your list of things that you want to do. Okay. Now every week I make my goals. Every week. And again, it may be something simple as, I'm going to make sure I go live on Tuesday to do what I need to do. That's a goal this week that I can scratch off my list. I have a vendor event next week. So I'm scratching off the goals that I need to do to make sure I get that vendor event together. I also am in the process of starting a new business. So I'm setting new business goals as well. Also, I'm setting some goals for my financial goals. I have my financial goals down too. So I set those goals every week. And I promise you, when you follow those goals, you feel better. Like tonight, I was not going to rest until I actually got on live today, because I knew that this was one of the goals that I wanted to knock out. But when you set those goals, especially if you're setting goals for your mental health, I assure you, it totally reduces the stress, because by the time the weekend comes, you will have felt this sense of accomplishment. So once Friday come, I will feel so good that I did cross off at least 4 or 5 of the things that I put on my goal list. And if you don't finish everything that's on the list, this is why you get a new Monday every Monday for 365 days a year. You know, you don't have to rush the goals. Stop putting time limits on these goals. Okay. That's another reason why people don't accomplish them, because you're so busy comparing your goals to what somebody else is doing right now. That's not your problem. Stay in your lane, stay doing your goals, and you will get to where you need to go when it's time. Okay. You don't know how long these people had to actually put in the work to get where they're getting. Okay. So the goals that you are setting for yourself, you can take your time. There's no time limit on the goals, per se, but we put our own time limit on those things. We always want to say things like, I want to get a house by, so and so. Well, then that's a perfectly good time limit. If you know that right now you're being 44 and you want a house by the time you're 50, that's a perfect goal, because you can work towards that year by year, day by day. It is not a rush on your goals. Okay, these are your goals. These are not anybody else's goals. You are not living other people's goals. You don't need to compare yourself to other people. And number 7, the last one, to give yourself a sense of accomplishment. Again, there's nothing like accomplishing your goals, especially for us who deal with mental health issues. When we have a different way of thinking about things. Okay, we say, to me, if I can get through the week without a breakdown, I have freaking rocked my goals. Okay, because y'all don't know the struggle for any of us who have these brain problems. Okay, if I can get through the entire week without having a mental health issue, I have accomplished my goals. Even my goal, even if I didn't accomplish the goals I have written down. Okay, if I have gotten up every single day this week and made my bed, showered, pulled myself around to eat, took my medicine, make sure I cleaned up something in the house, to me, that's a sense of accomplishment by the end of the week. Okay, so you don't have to actually go and do all of the goals on your list, but if you do deal with mental health issues, if you're exhausted all the time, if you suffer from depression, anxiety, bipolar, whatever it is, if you get through the freaking week without a mishap, you freaking rocked it. Just period. That's your goals. Boom, it's over. You did it. Okay. And by Friday, I am super excited. This week, I didn't cry. This week, I didn't have a mental breakdown. This week, I got everything accomplished. Okay. Now, next week, I don't know what that's going to bring. I do know 2 weeks ago, I was a mess. I was a walking, talking mess just 2 weeks ago. Okay. I couldn't get it together. I didn't want to get out of the bed. I didn't want to comb my hair. I was a mess just 2 weeks ago. So it's okay to start over again. You all are beating yourselves up because some of you all are feeling, well, I'm too old to be starting all over again, and I'm too old to be trying to accomplish goals right now. What Bible, what book are y'all reading? That's certainly not in the Bible. So what book are you reading that you're too old to set goals? And if you do not accomplish them this week, you have next week. I like to always say, are you God? Are you a genie? Are you dying anytime soon? Do you have some report that we don't know anything about? Because as far as I'm concerned, you have another week, and a week after that, and a week after that. So you can accomplish your goals whenever you feel like it. Stop beating yourself up because you didn't accomplish what you've written down. Okay? There are going to be, it might be something I might not do this week. But guess what? I'll do it next week. And if I don't do it next week, I'll do it the week after that. Okay? It is okay for you to do that. It is okay. You do not have to beat yourself up about not accomplishing your goals. Okay? Just because somebody is doing something that you think you should be doing right now does not mean you're behind. Okay? That's another thing. Stop thinking you're behind because you're seeing somebody doing something that you think you should be doing. Okay? Everybody is going at their own pace. And that's what you have to get in your head. Your goals or your goals that you set for yourself, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Okay? Because you will get there. You might be slower than others, but you will get there. And it's okay if you take your time. Yeah, we don't have as much time as we used to, when we were in our 20s, but we can't keep beating ourselves up for what we didn't do in our 20s. Okay. And I didn't, and that's what a lot of time beating myself up about that. Well, I should have got this done, or my parents should have taught me this, or I should have did. No, okay. That time is over. I'm in my 40s now. I got to do what I got to do to make the rest of my life better. And that's what you need to do. And this is why it's so important to set those goals. And this is why it's so important for you to journal those goals. Y'all know how big I am on journaling. I love all things journaling. I write down every single solitary thing I can. And when I'm out on the street, if I'm out working, I definitely jot down some things. I'll stop in the middle of the store and write in my notes on my phone something that I know that I want to go and journal back later. Okay. So write those goals down. Make sure that you keep up with your goals. You don't have to tell people your goals. That's another thing we do. We tell people our goals. We put our goals in others' hands. So when you tell somebody your goal, you don't accomplish your goal, then the people that you're telling are going to ask you about your goal. Now you're feeling some type of way. What you do is not in others' concern. Okay? It's not others' concern. The goals that you are accomplishing. Now, if you're going to tell somebody that's going to help you with your goals, that's a whole different story. But I know how much we love telling our girlfriends or our friends or our family members. There are going to be some things, these goals are going to be some things you might have to keep to yourself. Period. Okay. There are goals that I have for myself. There are goals that my husband has for himself. There are goals that my son has for himself. They don't need to tell me. Now, if the goals are something that we need to accomplish together, then that's something we can talk about. But you don't have to tell people your goals. You can accomplish your goals and give yourself that silent, you rock, cheers all through the house. Because I do it all the time. I'm excited when I reach my goals. I don't need to pat on the back. I know that I accomplished the goals, and that's all that matters. Okay? So this is the importance of setting goals. This is why you all should be setting these goals. And especially in my Facebook group, when I ask you about your goals, you need to be saying it. I set a goal. I always ask the question, what goal are you going to set? What's one goal that you're going to set for yourself this week? I ask that question every single week. Now, even if you don't tell me, sometimes just speaking it into the atmosphere, because you never know that if one of your goals is I am going to write 10 pages I'm going to work on my book. And I'm going to write 10 pages this week. I'm going to try to get at least a chapter done. You never know who can help you with the goals. I'm not, you just sometimes you don't have to put all your goals, but if it's only one, and like the young lady did in my group this week, she said, I am getting the laundry done. Boom. That was her goal for the week. I'm assuming she has accomplished it because she wanted to go on vacation. And if she wanted to get that laundry done, and if she knows that laundry is something that she needs to tackle and that she usually doesn't tackle because she does suffer from depression and anxiety, and she knows that it's something that, keep help doesn't, something that keeps her from doing it. If she does it, that's a sense of achievement. That is the goal that she's crushed. It's okay to do that. All right. So I'm gonna give you the 7 tips, the 7 reasons one more time. 1, to give your life direction. 2, to make sure you are the one choosing the direction of your life. 3, to motivate yourself. That's my favorite one. Every time I set a goal, I am very motivated to crush it. Like, but when I don't crush it, I don't get upset because I know that I can do it the next week. 4, to make sure you get what you want out of life. In order for you to get what you want to get out of life, you're going to have to set some goals. Okay, that's going to give you the direction of your life. It's going to give you the purpose. You need to be motivated. You need to in order for you to get what you want out of life. Number 5, to save time. Remember, what you do now will save time for the future. Okay, if we had done some of us had done what we needed to do in our 20s, it would save us a lot of time right now. So I say set the goals down so that you can live happily when you're 60, 70 years old, not worrying about things that we have to worry about now that we didn't do when we were in our 20s. Number 6, to reduce stress. That's self-explanatory. Okay, you know that when you are running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you are stressed out. Most of the times you're stressed out because you're not setting goals for yourself, and if some of the goals are to be a better parent this week, and there's nothing, and you're not going to get in trouble, by the law if you didn't wash all the clothes, or if you didn't go to to the school meeting or something like that. But if you set that goal to do this week, I am going to be here this week to my son's or my daughter's school. I'm going to make sure the kids' lunches are done. I'm going to make sure that the kids' lunches are paid up if you pay for lunch. I want to make sure these are goals that you can set, and it reduces the stress. My son didn't particularly eat lunch at school, so I made sure he took lunch. The days that he wanted to eat lunch, I made sure he had the money. We planned that out during the week. I know it's stressful to do that if you have more than one child, but if you set some goals, it will reduce the stress by the end of the week. And last, it gives you a sense of accomplishment. It does. I have crushed my goal of being here today, of showing up for you all. I crushed that goal today. So now I can scratch that goal off of my list for one of the goals that I accomplished this week. I've also crushed one of my other goals because my brand new journal has just gone live in Amazon. Okay, so I've crushed another goal off of my list because this is the second journal that I have self-published this year. So I had, and now think about this, and this is a story I think I told, I wrote it in a post, but I self-published the first journal February this year past. I should have been on the 3rd series of this particular journal series. But because I had some setbacks, because I did not set goals, because I kind of was just winging it this year, because of COVID and all kinds of other things, trying to figure out what was going on. I was kind of, because remember, I retired in December from the cleaning business. So for a minute, I was kind of lost. I didn't have any direction. Even though I've had direction in the past, I thought I knew where my life was going, but life has a funny way of screwing with you. So I didn't get the journal out until now. It is what, August? The first one was done in February. It is now almost late August. I got the journal out. It is now live on Instagram. on Amazon. No, I'm not going to give out the link because I'm actually doing a 3-day lead up to me actually giving the link out so that people can purchase it. So if you want to join that masterclass, the journaling masterclass, you are welcome. Please DM me your email. I'll put you on the list and I'll add you to that class. But I accomplished the goal. Doesn't matter how late it was, I accomplished the goal. There's no time limit on me. I set that time limit back in February that I was going to have all 3 of them done by the end of the year, or I think I said by the summer or something like that. Well, it didn't go according to plan. You don't have to beat yourself up about it. You don't have to get upset and quit the goal. It's not like it's all over. It's not. Today, the journal went live. So one was published in February. This one is published in August. I'll have the other one out before the fall hits. Boom, I have accomplished that particular goal of getting that 3-series journal, that series of journals out. But it didn't matter the time. I still got it done. So now I feel that sense of accomplishment when I saw today, when I got the email today, it said your journal is live. That gave me the sense of accomplishment. So if you're sitting on your book, you've had it in your notebook for years and you haven't put it out yet, you need to get that done. If you're sitting on a business idea and you just don't know when you want to do it, you need to get that done. That should be one of your goals. You should put those things. And when you're writing your goals, I have a free printout, printout that you can get. It's in my link in my bio on Instagram. And for those of you all who are in my group, you all can go back and scroll up and you'll see the Crush Your Goals PDF. And you just print that out. And you can print that out as many times as you want for every goal that you want to accomplish. But on there, it asks you, the goal that you want to set for that week and the action steps that you need to take behind it. And so the steps I needed to take behind getting that journal out for this month was I had to be consistent on writing the journal. I had to be consistent on making sure that every day I came in and I dedicated some time to it. Okay. Those were the action steps that I needed to take towards getting the journal done. Okay. Then I had to make sure I got it to the editor. So those were different steps that you can take. Those were the different steps I needed to take to assure that my journal was going to be published. Now my goal is to teach some classes leading up to the actual release of the journal, meaning I am going to market myself. Those are the steps that I'm going to take to make sure that the journal gets out, that it gets into everybody's hands. Hopefully, I need all of y'all to go purchase that one and the previous one, please and thank you. But anyway, and make sure you write a review, please and thank you. Anyway, but I'm taking the action, the steps that I need to make sure that I get that journal out into your hands. And so you can, with that PDF, you can actually put those different steps. So if your goal is to, like I said, something simple as getting your children ready for school this week, you can put the steps that you need to take. I need to go hit this particular place to go get this for the kids. I need to make sure that they have their mask. I need to make sure you can put those things down. No goal is too big. No goal is too small. It's your goal. It's what you want to do. It's your life. Okay. So that's it. That is it. I crushed my goal today of making sure I got on here, even though I look a hot mess. It is about bedtime, and I'm very late, but I accomplished the goal today. Okay, I couldn't help the weather, but I could help if I did not come on. So if I didn't come on, then I would have not accomplished the goal. So I didn't care what time it was going to be. I didn't care how I was going to look. I was going to make sure that I was going to get on here and I was going to accomplish my goal of going live for you all, teaching you all different things every Tuesday. Okay, so thank you all for who tuned in. If you are catching the replay, let me know in those comments. Thank you to everybody else who tuned in on the live. I really, really appreciate it. And I will make sure that you all get the link to the new journal. Y'all know this one is a really, really good one. This one is full colored this particular time. It's the second one in the series of the Girl Cassier Cares journals. So it's going to be three. The first one was a prayer and gratitude journal. This one is an affirmation and prayer journal. And I love all things about it. It's colorful, it's pretty. I am super excited about it, and I cannot wait to get it in your hands. So, with that being said, you all have a great rest of the week. Stay safe. Make sure you mask up, get vaxxed up. Yes, I am rooting for masks and vaccinations. Make sure your kid. I hope your kids have a great, safe year. I'm to be honest, I am not. I'm very happy that I'm not in those shoes anymore, especially during this time. I probably will be out of my skin if my child had to be in school. I do have grandbabies that live in Texas that are going through the same thing, but it's a little bit more mommy's problem than Gigi's problem. So I'm not as stressed, but I do check on them every day. So please, please, please be safe and tune in next Tuesday. Y'all know probably around Thursday or Fridays when I'll, know what I want to talk about. So, and of course you always can email me, DM me, text me for anything that you want me to talk about because y'all know I am very transparent and I love teaching and talking. So I take requests. It doesn't bother me at all. So have a great rest of the week. I thank you all again for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye.